All right, it says I'm live. Let's see here. Put my camera here. What's up? How's everybody doing? Notice that, well, I don't know if I can show you the flooring. Can you guys see the flooring? So we got rid of the 20-year-old carpet, and I am in the process of rearranging things. I got rid of so many books. I have, I've got, I can't even tell you how many books that I have owned over the years. Um, I found my 33rd trade journal. I don't know if you can see that. And it says this journal, only things worthy to be written is the goal. So I've got a separate journal that my kids got me years ago. I found that the world's number one Joshua, the world's best dad. And each one of these little things in here, like for instance, the very first one, on the very first day I wrote on it, says, "The path of the just is the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day." Can I actually look at, let me here, close, moderation, top chat, live chat. Let me see here. Let me put in, hello, I am live. I don't think anybody is here with me. Well, maybe one person, or is that me? Can I give myself a thumbs up? No. uh, if you're here, respond in the chat for me so I know that I'm actually. Um, uh, oh, you can see my coffee cup in the background and my water. I haven't found my coasters, by the way. So I got into insurance. Actually, I started this time last year. I think I took the job at um, Humana. Um, hey, what's up, oil prospector? Thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? I'm just doing a live stream today because I'm bored out of my mind. I've been playing around in the markets a little bit. Actually, let me just take this off the daily chart off the screen. I want to go down to a 5-minute chart. Today was freaking nuts, right? Yo-yo market from um, the open to what, 12:30. The only really decent move came in from, looks like 11:30 to 12:30 today. But it faked everybody out before it got to that point, right? Probably wiped out a lot of money if you were following trend trading at all. So, um, so June 11th, I started this journal, and I just said I lost my Jim Rohn leadership journal. I found it. I found it, but I had lost it for a while. I found it like a week or two ago. No, I found it like 3 days ago, like a 1 week ago, maybe five. It was over the last weekend when I pulled out my, had pulled out my book bag that had all my Humana stuff in it, and somehow or another I put that in there. And now I remember why I did it. I put it in there because I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to lose it, and then I forgot where I put the stupid trade journal at. So. Uh, So then we got flooring. Actually, in May we got flooring. So this mess behind you has been here since a while. I've been slowly putting things back where I want them. For instance, I got my bookshelf over here with some of the things that are important to me at my um, beck and call, and then I started putting up all that stuff was because the whole desk was, I had to disassemble it when we put the flooring in. So I added some things. That's my favorite overall 1968 Camaro. My friend got me that one. I think it's a 68. What does that say? Yeah, 1968 Chevrolet. So I got my rocking chair directly behind you. You can see that rocking chair. That's my dad's. I kept it, and I kept several other things. I haven't decided where I want to move all my furniture to, but I do have an idea. I've been getting into craps. See this where I have a table where I was sorting books over there, and then I went and took so many books, to half-price books, so many books, and only got one load. I got $50 for, the other I got $70 for. So not a whole heck of a lot. So 100 and was that 70 and 50, $120 worth of, and I'm had Humana bag after Humana bag after Humana bag that I took in there. Last Humana, I had like 9 Humana bags the second time, and 5 Humana bags the first time when I was all books, things that I collected over the years, and that's not all of them. You can see that I've got books listed. There's Stonewall Jackson in the back corner there. It's one of the dudes that I don't know. I've got this, God only knows how many years, but that was what's in the background. One of my favorite authors, he's since passed away, James I. Robertson, wrote a lot about Stonewall Jackson. Mort Kunstner did a lot of drawings, so Civil War. We were at camp. I'm over the place. We were at camp, and the tree I kept some things up, and I took some things down. So that's my kiddos when they were a lot younger. So I put that picture up there. There's one of my favorite sayings right there by Bruce Lee. That's when I was coaching over there when they were a lot younger. And this is Stonewall Jackson praying. It's when we actually won first place consultant in Watkins overall. That was pretty fun. One of my kids' drawings. That's Stonewall Jackson saluting his troops as he was leaving to go. He got promoted. Up there is when they were looking at the Battle of Chancellorsville, I believe, and he was getting ready to do the march around the Union right flank to hit them on that side. And over there, I don't know if you can see, that's when he gave, when his wife came with the child. Well, I think that's the one and only time that he, I think it was the winter of 1863 before he was shot. So long story short, it's kind of, so I kept just putting things back where I want them. This is my office. I don't know if you can see that, but over there is a door. And like I tell my wife, this is my domain. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see that, but up there, that comic strip is, Calvin and Hobbes' last comic, that last comic that he did when he was putting together. So there's so much shit. There was so much shit in this office, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff. So, and you accumulate a lot of stuff. I'm 58 years old. I started accumulating books on trading when I was 16 or 17. I think I did my first stock trade on Mellon Bank when I was 16, I believe. I got involved in futures when I was in my 20s. So I have been a trader most of my adult life. Most of my money that I made as a trader have been more long-term related. I made most of my money in 2 different fields. Well, when my dad was living, he was in commercial real estate. He invested my money he did a good job with it, and it takes care of my mother to this day. So My mom will be turning 82 in October. Like I said, I turned 58 in March. So what am I up to? I don't know what the hell. I just wanted to do a live stream here and just talk for a few minutes because I've been debating about coming back into this realm again and putting together. Uh, I since I guess what all this started in a way was that I was looking at the market again, thinking about how I would approach it. I stripped down a lot of the way that I go at the markets now. Uh, I've I revamped pretty much all of my trading ways that I've done it before. I got rid of the um, I forget what the charts are called. The way I used to look at the markets, I kept my highway. I've kept the pivot point in R1, S1, S2, pivot points. I kept my highway, if I haven't said that before. I'm not really, don't really care about indicators or volume or anything like that for right now. I just thrown everything out of what I was doing. I've been looking at range bars, 30 range bars and 60 range bars. I'm trying to work within the rules of Apex as well. And also using my spreadsheet. My spreadsheet is the most important thing that I had developed over the years. And more of the reason behind that development was the risk amount of it. How much am I willing to risk in any given trade? And that's kind of comes back to probably my number one book right here, Trade Your Way to Financial Freedom. In this book by Ban K. Tharp, who has since passed away, he says that you need to define your R. So we're about 10 minutes in. We'll start talking about trading right now, right? You got to define what R means to you. What's your risk? I interpreted that also. What do you interpret out to be your profit? What do you make 1P? So what is 1P? What is 1R? How much should you take out of the market on kind of going back to Joe Ross and some of the teachings that I learned from him when he was living? He talked about your opening salvo of trades. He said that you should trade in 3 different series of trades. I think that's how he meant it was if you're trading 3 contracts, each one of those contracts should have a different profit level or target point. If you're trading 3, I think that it's probably 2 and 1. 2 at one level, 1 at another. Right now, the market is allowing for 9. Now, when I'm saying the market, I'm talking MNQ, the micros. That's what I've been looking at right now, the micro account. So in other words, it takes 10 micros to make 1 mini. I used to trade the NQ minis. I used to also trade crude oil. Crude oil is where I made a lot of my money when I was trading as futures. I made money at Top Step more than I made money at Apex, by the way. Now, I was more of an affiliate at Top Step, and I never really got paid. I got like 1 affiliate check from Apex, come think of it. But most of the money that I made in the funded futures area was through Top Step. I went at it for many years and couldn't figure out how to crack that nut. I've watched different traders over the years. There's a lot of misinformation, to put it politely, when you're looking at YouTube and a lot of the traders that are out there. And I thought maybe I could dispel some of that. A lot of them get more on referral money than they make as a trading affiliate money, in other words. Several really hucksters out there that are selling shit for the most part, right? I got involved in Top Step because day trading was very dangerous for me. Uh, I started Knight Capital Management LLC in November of 2007, and I've kept it um, as an LLC, and I flow a lot of that money. But that's kind of when I started getting into the day trading realm, was around 2007. And somewhere after that, Top Step came into play. I was at Rockwell Trading for a while with Marcus Highcutter. Um, don't really know anything what he's up to. I know he still does his thing. Um, I was with, forget the name of the company, but I was trading real money back in the day. Then I got involved. I still trade. I got a Robinhood account. I've got other things that I put real money into still, but I don't do day trading for live money now. I haven't done it for years. A real trading account. I still have an account at Apex Funded Trader, I think it's called. What's the name of that company? AFT, Apex Trader Funding. That's what it's called. Apex Trader Funding. I still have an account there. I'm thinking about having 3 to 5 um, Apex accounts. Right now, I only trade one open account because I've been looking at different ways of going about it. I have not passed um, an evaluation account this year, but I haven't done a lot of trading either. I think I've only bought 5 um, evaluation accounts through the year. Right now, I'm up. I keep getting to about $1,500 up, and I've done it this year. I got to 1,500. I went back to the 50K account too, by the way. You need 3,000 before you lose 2,500. I've made it to 1.5K on pretty much every account that I've got in Apex this year. And then I have a mini blowout where things don't start going well, and then I hit and it's very easy to hit sell, 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 right? Or buy, buy, buy. I mean, next thing you know, if you're trading 9 contracts in the minis, in the micros, and you hit that button 3 times, it's equivalently almost trading 3 mini accounts, right, on NQ. And you can lose money quickly back and forth in that sense, right? So it's difficult. I have decided on when I decided to start writing in this journal on June 11th, I started writing some of my thoughts as it relates to trading in this book. It's just pretty much me talking about trading for the most part. My very first intro in here was I lost it is okay. Anyway, do not add contracts on a trade decision. This opens the door to more contracts and too big a loss to recover from. I took a position on June 3rd, 2025 with Insurance Services LLC. I used my LLC to receive payment from Knight Capital Management. Do not guess when the market will turn around. Follow the trend until it isn't the trend. There will be a signal of a reversal, but I keep reading my freaking writing. But must remain patient. So I wrote Apex 188, be smart. And I am on Apex 191 that I'm trading right now that I'm looking over. So June 11th, I was at 188. So each one of these accounts, 188, 189, 190, I have made 1.5K in each one of them. I know that for a fact because I wrote that down somewhere. And then I go after it, and that's slowed. And I've blown the account. I blew 190, I think, yesterday after being up. What does it say? My high water mark on that account was 190. No, excuse me, 190. I only made it up to $682 before I blew that one. I was frustrated yesterday on Monday. I shouldn't have been trading. I had a um, I've had some issues on um, partnership that I was in at one point that's kind of effectively um, hampered some financial side of. I don't want to get into the details of that. We'll just leave that alone. Um, Trusting someone with something is something that you probably shouldn't do. And it's a lesson that I didn't learn at 58 either, 57 actually, when I was in the process of doing that. So what else I wrote here? June 12th, be smart, KISS, trade and no reversal except the loss per trade opportunity. 80% off at Apex means not just to spend money, but follow a trade plan. Day trading multiple contracts is the quickest way to the reset button when you lose. If you're willing to risk big, then you must be willing to win big. You're not losing 2,500, you're losing $33.40, but you need to treat it as a higher number. You get locked in a position, no reversal, just take what the market is willing to give and move on to next trade opportunity. Stay in control. That was June 12th. So what did I learn? I know that Apex has moved their prices up recently, correct? If you look back, I believe that I think it was 35.40 now. So I guess they've moved it up to something, right? Let's take a look. By the way, you have 10 hours on 80% off right now. I don't use Tradeovate, by the way. Select your rhythmic plan. Use the 50K account and it's not moving back. 150K, 100K full, 50, moved to 177. So it went up $10, right? It was at 167, I remember. So they increased the price on the 50K by $10, it looks like. So I'm thinking about August because basically some bad decisions on me. Locked up most of my money, but got into a little bit of getting sued, to be honest. And I probably will lose that because shit happens, right? So it's going to affect my credit score. And most likely I'll be an as earned insurance person, not so I might need some extra money is what it ends up being. Not real proud of that situation, but you think in your 50s you learn something, but obviously I didn't. Day trading, follow rules. This is June 13th. No increase in contract size. Do not move to break even until 1p hit. Do not blow up. 3 trading losses in a row. Quit. 2 up bars, 2 down. Yeah, that's where I started thinking about 2 up bars, and I was looking at the 3-minute and the 4-minute chart. Then I decided to move to range bars. Barry Burns stochastic. How do you trade it correctly? I pretty much put that to the side. I threw it in. It's still on my charts, but I'm not really using it. Then I wrote down on June 16th, 2 bars, 3 minimum, same direction, unless already in trade, then you could possibly reverse. So I've had a lot of good trade situations that I went and won. June 17th, I went to day trade the afternoon session today. I started at 2 p.m. Eastern. There was a downtrend in the NQ, MNQ market futures from 12:39 p.m. today. I was able to catch between wave 3 to wave 4 in the 3-minute chart shown today. It was a pretty neat downtrend until about 2:03 Eastern. It looks like it test S1 this afternoon. This would be the wave from 4 to 5. So I still like the Elliott wave situations, what that gets out of that. June 18th, the day trade hit both 1P and 2P profit targets. I've since moved I have some of my contracts coming off at 1P, and then I moved to 3P on some of my contracts now as well, because the 1P and the 2P targets isn't enough to offset the 30 range or 60 range trade bars. So I've moved, so I want my wins, bottom line, if all my profit targets are hit. If I have a loss, I want my next trade, if it's a win, to win more than the loss that I accumulated. Now, so if I have two separate trades, one's a winner, one's a loser, I should win more on the win that would go to 1P on some contracts and 3P on the contracts. And I have my hair side of that at 6P. Today, if I look at my spreadsheet, because volatility is down compared to where it was, the ADR is at 2.65, which translates out to R of 1R at 27 ticks, 2R at 53, 3R at 80 ticks. 1P was at 40 ticks today, 3P was at 120, and 6P was at 239 ticks. So ticks in the market, meaning each tick of the MNQ. So I set up, right now I have most of my, I've debated about moving to a 3R stop, because the 60 trade bars inside the 2R can hit off of it. And I want to, I'll probably show what I'm doing in the future, but basically taking 30 range trade bars and 60 range trade bars. 60 trade range bars work best when you're in a congestion or a trading range, because it's going to keep you out of a lot of shit. And that's what I'm working on right now, is how many up and downs, and that's why I kept my highway on, because I'm looking at a turn in the trend. I'm trying not to catch. It's tough. Sometimes it's easy to see where the bottom is, and it comes off of it, and it's easy sometimes to see the top, especially at key points, knowing where those are. Sometimes that's just experience as time went on. What did I write on June 18th? I think I wrote that. Today's trade hit both 1P and 2P profit targets on short trade. Today was FOMC Fed funds rate day. Interest remained unchanged. On the world front, USA is sending military assets to Iran, meaning that's before the war, or they bombed it, right? Will Trump go into war with Israel into Iran? It sure is looking like at least an 80% chance the USA will join the fight. That was Wednesday, June 18th. I wrote that. Day trading thoughts. 1P versus 2R and not moving stop until one or the other is hit. This is easier said than done, and it is very easy to justify a break-even trade. 1P versus 2R, this is the major question I have in my mind. I am in 3 series of contracts now, finally hit 1P profit target. This was on June 24th. Had a whole bunch of trades that day. 310 micros, 38 trades. It took an hour to get back to even today. So obviously I was doing some shitty things that day. Range bars. Okay, so I hit On the 25th, I talk about range bars. So I moved from the minute chart to range bars because range bars are kind of like the bars that I have used in my past. That's why I thought about range bars, um, because they're based upon momentum in the market more so than just a arbitrary 1 minute chart or 3 minute chart or 5 minute chart. I'm not a fan of trading off of minute charts. Fan of a momentum driven trade. And range bars, you can capture some momentum in there. One of my charts that off screen, my main screen, has a momentum indicator that I've been toying around with, um, using 369, using the divisions of threes. So 5 minute, I got it on right now, 5 minute with a six, um, on the momentum. The only time it showed a, let's see here, looking back at 9:30, showed a nice down move from 9:30 to 9:40. Had kind of an up move after that, a better up move from 10:25 to 10:40, down move from 10:40 to 11:15, and it kind of meandered around. 11:50 to roughly 12:25 was an up move, and then from 12:25 to about, when was that? That 12 to 1 o'clock was a down move, and now from 1 right now on to right where we are, we've been in an up move from roughly, on the momentum chart, from 1 to about 2 right now. You can see that being reflected on the 5 minute charts as well. What did I write on June 26th? Probably nothing important. Looking to get started at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm using 30 range bars. So I basically, 30 range bars are good when you're in a trade that's got momentum driven behind it. Where you're going to get your ass handed to you is when it falls into a congestion or a trading range. And determining when you're in those, is tough because, but basically when you get into a trading range, you need to shift to a 60 range trade bars. Now, if I could go up higher, I probably would. I'm using NinjaTrader still, the free software that you get with your Apex account. So I've got one chart off screen that shows a 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute, 30, 60 minute. Then I got a range bar chart that shows the range bars, and I flipped that between 30 range bars and 60 range bars at a time. So what did I write here? I'm at 5 trades. I missed now 9 trades in. I am in too large in size, I'm guessing. Too much size in trading. I'm down 700 plus commissions. There has to be a happy medium. 5 contracts. How much loss is enough to stop? So I probably blew an account around that day when I was up. I know I was up 1,500 on 188 before I blew it. So I wrote 51,339, got to 51,544 on Friday, June 27th. And I'm pretty sure I blew that account after that. Yep, because I'm at account 190. So I went to 189, got to a high of 51,544. 190 got to a high of, I write it down, 600 and something. I wrote down account balance of 570. I've been off and on looking. We went away for a while. I had some vacation time. I've been taking the summer basically off. I was at Humana. I left them, and I took a job with Insurance Services LLC, local company that I'll be working with. See, range bars, 1P versus 2R, when to move to break even. That has been my biggest decision mark. So I wrote on the 26th, 1P versus 2R, stick to this, and 5 contracts, no ads. This leads to big failure and closed account. You must stop from over trading. See, I'm still back to the same things. Reversing only leads to more of a trading loss. And that's what you'll get when you're in a congestion area. If you're just reversing on range trade bars, you got to find a place that's driven by momentum. And that's kind of where I'm stuck right now, trying to figure that part out. The toughest part is moving to break even. 30 range bars, 60 range bars. There's less decisions on the 60 range bars. I must have day trading thoughts, range bars, 1P versus 2R. Keep coming back to that. And I've actually come back to 1P versus 3R. Then I wrote down in a quote from Napoleon Hill. He stood by his desire until it became the dominating obsession of his life and finally a fact. And I wrote down in my words, only when desire has become so strong, a burning desire or passion, will the person take action to change their life. And I had a really good trading day, I guess on Friday the 27th, because I found a wave pattern, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ABC. That was a really good trade, I'm assuming, that I had on the 26th at the Elliott wave. July 3rd, we went away for a while. That's why I didn't write until July 3rd. Thursday, July 3rd. Big move up today, 1P versus 2P. Adding contracts is a losing contest, puts you in a hope. I lost this one by being stupid after being up 1.5K again. So that was 189 that I lost. High water mark 51,597. 6 contracts. Last trade I had 42 contracts on. So basically I kept hitting the button. I would be better off not moving to break even until 1P is hit. And then 190, I kind of be patient with myself. July 7th, know when to quit. Too many contracts. My biggest weakness is pressing too hard and trading too many contracts. This leads to over leveraged positions. I said open 3 Apex accounts. So that's what I'm debating about right now, because we have the 80% off deal right now. Trade discipline must be how I operate. How I go at it is good until it isn't. I need to trust myself. You have seen everything under the sun in trading. Trade discipline and trade patterns. And I wrote July 7th yesterday, 1P versus 2R. Stick to this plus stay in 6 contracts are the series of contracts that I choose for the trading session. Be smart. This will be the way I make money until I get my credit corrected. So I talked about that. Yeah, got it over my head. Thank God I've saved, put money aside though. And I still have, no, I don't want to get into that. July 8th, day trading thoughts, do not add contracts. Today, 9 contracts is showing a 368 loss at 3R. The big question is when to move to break even, if at all. Do not get emotional, just trade with momentum. 1P versus 2R, is this the key? And I've been debating about 1P is definitely the first profit target. So let's just get that out there. Whenever I enter a trade, 1P before I even consider getting to break even. A lot of times it'll get within just millimeters of hitting that 1P target and then reversing it. And then it goes back and then hits it. So sometimes I get out at break even when just because it didn't run to the 1P profit target. So not moving to break even when it's there. It's so difficult. The market's moving your direction, and that's why I got away from the minute charts, by the way, because by the time you would get 2 up bars in a 3 or 4 minute chart, part of that momentum, there might be a reversal in it. The range bars show momentum a little bit better. That's what I like about them. Let's see here. 1P versus 3P against the loss at 2R winner gets to break even. There's a difference. This is today's. Oh, let's just read what I wrote today because this is why I decided to come on screen today and do a little talk with you. Day trading thoughts on Tuesday, July 8th. Do not add contracts. Today, 9 contracts is showing a 368 loss at 3R. What I look for is about 350. Where's 350 at? So if I look at the 3R, let's see, you can't see my spreadsheet, but 3 contracts, meaning 3 MNQs, micros, is $122.52 loss at 3R. That's not enough risk to put on a trade. 6 was at 245.05. 9 is at 367.57. Basically, I should be trading somewhere between 6 and 9 contracts. If I'm looking for a $300 loss at a 3R, it probably is at, it's going up $45 one. So it would be roughly at 7. Should be about 7 contracts today. So how should I trade 7? One would be at the 6. Not until you get to 10 contracts, even in the micros, should you consider that second 6P target. So how I traded 9 today was 5 off at 1P. I was looking at 3 off at 3P and 1 off at 6P. So that's how I looked at 9 contracts when I was trading 9. I probably should have been trading 7. I think I was up $200 today overall. How much was I up today? Because I was 2 and 1. 195. Got 298 balance, up 300 just about. So 9 contracts, total commission in the micros was $27.54. I got to 50,298.6. I'm pretty much good if I can get between 300 to 500 on a trading day. Apex got all kind of rules that you have to follow: max profit, max loss, which you can trade in any given day. And I'm not an expert in that, so you probably know better than I do how much you can make. I think it's at 30% is the number that I remember hearing. So let's read what I wrote today, because this is probably why I came on the video today. Me bullshitting for 43 minutes. So day trading thoughts on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. Here's another thing. I got to get the alarm set. I've been relaxed and having a good summer. I haven't had to work since June 3rd. It was my last day at Humana. So I enjoyed all of June. I've enjoyed the 4th weekend. We got away for a while. I'm going away on vacation in July again, but I'm looking to really lock down come August. So I've got basically the month of July to figure out how I want to attack the markets right now. And I've been debating about having a live stream. Probably, I don't know if I can offer anything that other traders are already doing, but I've been debating about it. That's all I can say about that. So that's kind of why I'm on screen today, is that I thought about learning Streamlabs so that I can have a YouTube channel again, because I've got the platform, I've got the TradeStation. I use my bonus with Humana to buy a new TradeStation. It's fast. It's a really good gaming computer. I still like to play Skyrim. I don't know if any of you guys are into Skyrim, but that's still my favorite overall game. I just last night I just started it again I guess I started about June 3rd. Come think of it, I've been playing it about a month straight, off and on. I get level 55 right now on my. I always go, for some reason it always ends up being a stealth archer. Is as I in the caves. And I don't know. There's videos on that all over the place, right? Bethesda made the game Skyrim. Came out on my wife's birthday, believe it or not, on 11/11, but it came out 11/11/11. So the game is what, almost 15 years old now. Anyway, day trading thoughts. Do not add contracts today. 9 contracts is showing 368 loss at 3R. I probably should have traded 7 or 8 on the contracts. 7, I have not figured out how I would move that. Most likely, if I'm looking at 7, it'd probably be 421. I was at 5,319, by the way. The big question is when to move to break even, if at all. Do not get emotional, just trade with momentum. 1P versus 2R, is this the key? And I've been debating about 1P versus 1P plus 3P against the loss at 2R wins or gets to break even. And I spelled wins with WHENIS. I'm starting to get bad at spelling too. There is a difference in making up a loss against allowing the market to take you out in a win. Counter trend and moving to break even is a good idea, especially as it relates to where we are in the day trading, considering where the pivot point is located. If you're trading above the pivot point, PP, then the long will be the trend overall on the day trading session. The short goes down normally after, the short goes down normally faster than the long. If you're trading below the pivot point, then the short downtrend is the overall trend. R1 and trading above it, a stronger uptrend, just like trading below S1 is a stronger downtrend on the day trading session. By looking at the highway on my day trading sessions, you will see the overall direction on the market by looking at the overall direction of the highway on the trading chart. If I use the sim account to see where this takes me, so I kind of played around today with the sim account and started losing because I found myself inside a congestion trading range. So the 30 trade range bars were just showing signal after signal after signal, back and forth, because I was reversing back and forth on that. So then I thought, well, let's look at the 60 trade range bars. I had already made my profit in my Apex account, so I switched to Sim is what this is. So a lot of my testing I use the Sim account for. Trading ranges and congestions areas, rules for those areas. 60 range bars has less trades but more trend-driven moves. Trying to stay out of congestion and trading ranges is most likely a big key. Definite consideration on 60 trade range bars is consolidation and trade range bars. And then I wrote a note, how to tie in the highway to trend direction and taking on trade opportunities. So this is an ongoing battle, and trading is always like this. I just put it bluntly. You're only as good as the next day. One of my insurance buddies says that how each day you got to pack your own lunch and go out and kill each day. Each day is a brand new day if you're working in a commission environment. So this is a commission environment being a trader. Definitely. You're only as good as your next day. The past is the past. You got to be able to the toughest, let's put it this way, the toughest part of trading is coming back from a losing trading day. When you're up, it's easy to trade the next day. The problem that you're running to is that you get overconfident and you do things that are stupid in that next trading session because you think, well, I recovered yesterday, therefore I'm going to recover today. Just a matter of time, stick it out. And then next thing you know, you add that button and say sell again or buy again. Next thing you're knowing, um, you're you're trying to make up for one trading loss, and then you're trying to make up for two trading losses. So you think, well, then I'll just trade three series of contracts. So basically, you're trying to martingale into the situation. And trading is a beautiful example, just like in the casinos. If you start martingale your position, you're going to find yourself losing more. In this case, um, I guess it's $35 and whatever it is now at the 80% discount. You're going to start, instead of losing the 2.5 to 2,500 max trailing drawdown, you blow that EA that is 35, and then obviously if you get to the PA, I think that's what, almost 200 now, if not more. I haven't been into a PA for a while, so I don't know. Um, anyway, I thought about just throwing some just talking, and I thought, well, I'll talk for about an hour or so, share some of my trading ideas. I said I got two journals going. I finally found the other one. I wrote in this journal, journal number 33, and this will be my last Jim Rohn journal, by the way, because I'm not going to buy another. At least that's my plan. This journal, only things worthy to be written, is the goal. So let's see what I wrote whenever I started this journal. January 29th, 2024, Monday, Seasons of Life, Jim Rohn concept to Tony Robbins. Seasons of life. I am in winter. Life comes in seasons. Every season has a purpose. There's a right time for doing things. If you plant in the winter, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're not going to get a crop. Spring. In spring, things grow. If you start a business and you think you're a genius as your business grows like crazy, you're just in the right place at the right time. I've been there. Right place at the right time. I remember one day when I was right before I went on with Rockwell, I believe I made $10,000 on one day. That was fun. It is the optimistic and exciting time. It doesn't last forever. Summer. Summertime is hot and it tests you. It's challenging. It's coming of age. Time for awakening. Fall. It's reaping time. Season to unwind. Autumn of life. Winter. Winter is a challenging time if you didn't plan in spring and work hard in summer or save some harvest in fall. Winter can be tough. Everything seems impossible. It's the time to slow down and regenerate and creation of space for new beginnings. And then it goes on. This is a Tony Robbins concept, the path of 7 steps. Step 1, what do you really want? Activate and awaken your hunger. Step 2, find and face the truth. The truth will set you free. Step 3, resolve and create a map. Massive action plan, MAP. Step 4, do what's hard. Slay your dragons. Step 5, develop a daily practice. Step 6, raise your standard and measure more often. Become your true self. Step 7, life is a gift. Celebrate, appreciate, and give back. So then I had some notes in there. But that's what I wrote when I opened up this journal on January 29th. And then I've been adding to this journal up into that was, excuse me, June. That was 2024. So I wrote that a year ago. May 15th was the last day I wrote in this. Excuse me. Friday, May 16th was 2025. So I've added some ideas in here along the way. So this is supposed to be good things that I wrote. And I wrote about Paul Tudor Jones. I think we actually had a video. So 10 Commandments of Discipline, February 3rd, 2024. Thou shalt not chase a move. Thou shalt not trade in choppy markets. Thou shalt not trade kamikazes. This is actually from Barry Burns, I believe. Thou shalt not trade too many contracts for your account size. Thou shalt not trade for the action. Thou shalt guard your capital. Thou shalt never try to recover losses without a plan. Thou shalt not worry about missing the boat. Thou shalt not place your stops too close. Thou shalt not take profits too soon. Successful trading is simply a matter of not making mistakes. That's what separates the pro who makes money from the educated amateur. So that was back in February 3rd. I wrote that. 2024. April 24th, 2024. Do not increase contract size. I keep that right. Full moon on April 23rd, 2024. Be careful about full moons, by the way. I don't believe in astronomical bullshit, but there's something about full moons and me personally blowing accounts. Full moon, blew another account on full moon. Now I'm in on a $30 reset that I don't give a damn about. I traded too much in size today. My patience was terrible. Bottom line, I threw away $130 a day by trading too much in size. It's too easy to lose in the 25K account by overtrading. There has to be an ouch point in the PA. You know better. Also, be careful on full moon. You have a tendency to go WTF, what the fuck, on this day more than any other day of the month. It's time to stop being stupid. You know better to trade during lunch. So, and then I took a job with Humana after at some point in July. Let's see if I wrote about that at all. I was in 2024 when I took that job. Let's see, 21 days of trading gains. May 31st, 2024. Here you go, May 31st, 2024. One half of the year is June 30th. Had 20 positive trading day sessions. I cannot go on tilt on PA account. So I was in a PA account, number 23 right now. I'm up over 1K and felt I could really do some damage a day. This is probably when I blew the account. Must be more diligent in the PA, the EA at $15 at something. Yeah, I started going. Obviously, I had 21 days of trading gains on the 31st. I was working with the EMAs at this point. That must be what I meant by the 15 EMA. I must limit myself to no more than 12 contracts in the PA. And that means the MNQ, micros. 3-hour stop enough to stop trading in a session. Obviously, the 2-hour stop. Obviously, the 2-hour stop doesn't stop me. Do not add contracts. Constant theme. Trade 6 MNQ and have the highway and then the EMA. Make something that works more times than not. Use your knowledge and be ready to trade. So a constant fight. It's always been a constant fight for me. That's probably why I started the other journal. Trying to see where I took the position at Humana. My boss left and they hired within, and she is she, her, put it politely, so we won't talk anymore on that. Probably should have never left Humana though. Should have just stuck it out. Have have a habit of doing stupid things. Humana. So I must have took the position. I know I was working training on September 6th. So I did enjoy it for a while. When Alicia was my boss at one point, she was hands-off type of person, and then I got my the boss that that came on. She had like 3 more months of experience than I did. I didn't go after position, by the way. I guess we'll leave with this. My life has been defined by who I put my trust behind. Do I trust that person has the best interest when I'm looking at that person? I don't work well with micromanagers. That's just a fact. Unfortunately, it's a fact. And that's probably what led me to Insurance Services LLC and just working when I want, as opposed to the Humana model and the green glove bullshit and all the crap that they would put you under, and then having a micromanager as your new boss. The micromanager and me just don't work well together. I usually run for the doors, and I ran for the door again. Put my 2 weeks notice. My last day was June 3rd at Humana. I look back at life and some of those decisions that I've made. Wife said today, said maybe you should have stayed there. I said probably should have. It is life though. Life has a. I can't control my thoughts, and I don't think any of us can control those negative thoughts. It's how we operate inside our mind sometimes. And you don't want to be in my mind. Trust me, my mind's ADD, definitely ADHD, whatever you want to call it. I've got to find something that works for me that I can pick up insurance. Can't go without insurance. It's a double-edged sword, right? They have plans here, state-operated plan if you don't make enough money. We have the Obamacare plan with the high deductibles, puts us in the same. And by the way, Humana's health insurance plan was a piece of shit. The high deductible plan, my wife had a colonoscopy, was supposed to be preventative in nature. They didn't encode it correctly, and we're still fighting that $6,000 bill. The emergency room visit that she had to go to, another $1,000. The max out of pocket and the Humana plan on a family was $15,000 before they pick up anything, really. You had to get up over 4,600 or 4,700 before they started covering the 2080, I guess, at that point. So there's got to be something that relates to, and I'm not a Trump fan, and I'm not a Biden fan or anybody. I believe what's best for the individual. I'm not party generated. My dad talked about Trump when he was a man. He said he was an SOB. Arrogant SOB was his exact words, and my dad had dealt with him at Mellon in the 80s when he worked with him. So he's been an arrogant SOB his whole life. So it is what it is with that. Did I vote for him? Yeah, I mean, it's better than the alternative. Are we in a one-party system? Certainly. Are they looking out for those that are in the middle class right now? I would argue no. Middle class has been decimated over the years since Ronald Reagan, and I loved Ronald Reagan. Gorbachev tearing down the wall. As you look back in life, my best friend hates Reagan and what he did to the middle class. And you look at the documentation, and it's not Reagan that did it as much as the people that he put in place, the supply side economy and whatnot. that decimated the middle class. The trade deals that we made, the manufacturing jobs that went overseas, and why we're in the problem and difficulties of today. Um, is America in a better place today than it was in the 70s under Carter? Who knows? I don't know. I was too young at the time. There was some great times under the Bush family. I mean, I've made money pretty much most of my whole adult life. With the Republican control, I did fine under Obama. Um, Biden was a piece of shit, controlled by the people that were around him, didn't know what the hell he was doing, didn't know what he was saying. But we're no better off under what I believe Donald Trump right now either. So being upside down in the debt situation, we're at 34th, they're almost 35 trillion, probably national debt. I mean, at some point, right, if we ran our household the way the government runs our country, I mean, at some point, the dollar and the can't just keep running into multi-trillion trillions. I mean, we're talking money that we can't even imagine. Anyway, I talked a lot today about a whole bunch of things. We talked about trading. We talked about, just wanted to come on and just bullshit with you for a while. I think I'm done. I think it's 2:30. It's time to be done. Hour and 7 minutes. It's good talking to y'all, even in the future when you see this video. Just wanted to come online and debate about what I want to do next with my life. I want to retire at the age of 67 through 70, somewhere in that area. I'm going to use Medicare as the tool to get me to where I need to be over the next 9 to 70, whatever that is. So I'm somewhere between 9, 10 to 13 years from hopefully officially retiring. If in an ideal world, I'd make money as a trader. I would build up to 20 Apex Trading funded PAs and make money on all of them. I'm looking at everything right now. That would be my ideal world. Get up in the morning, trade the morning session somewhere between 9:30 to 12 and be done for the day. Or trade the afternoon session somewhere between 1 to 3:30 in the day and be done. Or trade both sessions on a given day in between there. Notice that there's a time not to trade, 12 to 1:30, roughly 12 to 1. I was trading in the 12 o'clock environment today, trying it out. I'm trying all kinds of things. How do I want to approach it? As we've been talking right now since I came on an hour ago, the 5-minute chart has shown a move that went up to about 210 and then went down to 235. Very much a yo-yo trading day with no real good movement. Back and forth. Today has been one of those days that there's been some kind of a trend inside a day, but it's not, it's almost like an inside trading day, really. Inside trading day. If you look at the low to the high, right? 11 o'clock seems to be the low on the trade session, and 12:30 seems to be the high on the day, and we've traded inside that range from 11 to 12:30 through the day so far. But my ideal world, I would make money as a trader, and you would never see me. I just throw out some ideas along the way, and that's probably where I'm going to be in the future. If I do a live stream, a live stream through Streamlabs, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 days a week at most. I'll pick a day and just say, this is the day I'm going to go live, and just do it. Once a week, probably. I'll pick a day, or twice a week at most. I'm certainly not going to trade and be set to a schedule 5 days a week. I did that in my past, and I did very well with it. I'm not going to do that again. I'm past the point that I care to do that and be set to that. But I do want to get, coming August, I want to have a set schedule in my mind. I knew coming in after I left Humana, I was going to take it easy June and July and resolve my credit problems that I'm in right now. Our house is worth more than, yeah, just bullshit. Some of the shit that went on. Don't want to get into it. That's not for here. But I'm glad I socked away a bunch of money. Let's just put it that way, over the years. But so our house, it most likely will be a lien on the home, some of the credit bullshit that happened, but we still have a lot more. It'd just be harder to sell the home when it's ready to sell. Or I've paid off 2 creditors. I got 2 that I'm making payments on, and I have 3 that one's got a lien on, and 2 I'm in small claims court, or the one above that, whatever that one is, and I've got 2 more. So I get into a world of hurt sometimes, man, when you think you're smarter than you are. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Just shit happens, right? And one thing that I've been good at over the years has been this environment. And I've had some, like I said, I had 21 trading sessions. I was up. You got to be able to know when to walk away, though, like in everything in life. My biggest downfall as a trader has been not shutting down that. So I thought, well, what's the issue? The issue is I don't have another PA account, or I don't have another EA account. So there has to be a loss limit that I'm willing to lose on the giving. I guess this is the most important concept, because when you're thinking about trading, when you're coming into this, you're thinking about Apex and all these funded trading, your $30 isn't a lot of money, right? So you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just redo another EA. When you're in a PA, it's a lot more money, $100, whatever it is at that point. Usually they have those one-time sales where it's like 80 something. I don't know what it is right now, but whatever. So you're like, okay, I'll just trade this one. I'll open up another one, do it again, do it again, do it again. You don't learn anything from that. So EAs, evaluation accounts, can be, even then you can add too much money, right? You can put too much money in the EA accounts. But I think you have to have multiple EA accounts, just like you need to have multiple PA accounts. PA account is much more different. You got to be able to know when to say enough loss is a loss. I can't make up from that. And there's a point that I know, it's around the $500 level. That is where I have to $500 to $600. If I lose around that much money in the session, I got to say, okay, that EA is done for the day, or that PA is done for the day. I know I can make that back up the next day, right? Or you say, open up another, you go into another EA account and start trading on that one, right? I've never used trade copy or anything like that. So I thought, well, somewhere between 3 to 5 EAs open, and you hit a profit target. So the discipline side of that is to know, if you hit a point of no return, you got to stop, because your next trade is pretty much either a revenge trade, over leveraged trade. At least this is my personal experience. So when you hit that point of no return, when you say, all right, fuck it, the WTF mentality, that is when you're most, and I come back from 80-90% of every time I go after it. But that 10% of time that you'll lose not only EA, use the PA. Is it better to take that $2,500 drawdown and go on 3 to 5 losses in a row instead of taking one day and blowing it. And that's what I found myself. And what I have to get away from is that, because I go back to, oh, it's only $30, right? It's only $30. Fuck it. Let's just spend another $30 and go back at it again. So you have to treat each EA as not a $30 count. It's hard to get away from that mentality though, because you're like, oh, okay, well, I got a $200 budget for this month. That means I can buy 6 EAs. But there you go. You have to have you have to have your budgets. You got to have your loss limit. You got to know how much is enough of a loss to say, all right. You got to know if you hit that WTF area. I know how I am. I'm going to over leverage. I'm going to hit, instead of where I start having my biggest downfalls is when I'm trading, let's say, 3 contracts, or most of my problem happens when I start above 6 contracts in MMQ. And I say, you know what the hell, I'll hit one more series of contracts. So I'll go from 6 to 12. I'll lose that one. What do I do next? Because now I'm in it. I go, all right, we're going to go 18. I'm going to go 3 series of contracts. Lose that one. Now what do you do? Well, shit. I'm going to go 30 contracts and then blow the account. That is a tough situation, but it's something that I found myself in. And I think that martingale system, you'll win, 85, 80, 90% of the time, you'll come back from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and make it back. But it's that 10%. So after 21 trading days or whatever it is that you're in, it'll be that one day that you can't come back from that. The EAs you can get away from. You can trade, like, so as long as you can take one trade, one buy-in at a time. But you can't do that in the PA. You can only scale in once. And I think that was the thing that I remember reading back in the day. So basically, what that tells you is that if you did add a series of contracts, I can go from 6 to 12. If I'm trading 3, I can go 3 to 6. So if that is part of your trade plan, you got to be willing to say, okay, that I can't go from 2 to 3 because that's not in my trade plan. That's not part of how you can make money overall, because 3 leads to 4, 4 leads to 5, and so forth and so on. It leads into a martingale situation where you're going to blow the account. That's just a fact of life. Once you get to a point of that threshold, that is where you have to be smart enough to say, you know what, I've lost too much in the trading session. So somewhere between that $500 to $600 mark is where I have to be willing to say, all right, I got to go to another EA. I got to go to another PA. So I guess in the case, this is probably the best part of the video right now. Things I've learned, right? Things I've learned as a trader. You got to know when the ouch button and stop trading. You've got to walk away sometimes. You're not going to win every trading day, every trading session. You're just not going to. There's going to be days the market's not going to do, even though you have your signals correct, everything is right, it still kicks your ass. It's just the way it is. And nothing you can do is going to stop that trading day and that trading session. It's just going to happen. No one's perfect, especially as traders. Being humble is tough. Being humble, but I've learned how to be humble as a trader. I learned how to be humble in life because of all the bullshit that I've experienced, right? Don't do as I do as I say, I guess, this situation. But I've had so many good trading years. The biggest downfall, I think I look back, is the funded accounts, right? It's the Top Step, getting involved in Top Step, getting involved in Apex, trying to make a livelihood of it. So there's got to be income coming in to support the other situation that you want to do. So if this is something you want to do, you have to have income coming in the other way, so it doesn't stress you out when you lose one trading day. Um, you got to be, you got to be willing to walk away. That seems to be the, if I can teach you anything in life about trading, uh, you got to know when to walk away. And like I say, I win 80 to 90% of my trading days. I just do. It's been a history. It's that 10, 15% those days. Those are the days that have put me in the hole. And it's somewhere between that $500 to $600 loss that seems to trigger my problems, for what it's worth. All right. This is Dave Knight at Dave Knight Trading. Trade crazy, trade craze, whatever the hell I call myself today. I appreciate you watching me today and talking. Those that did. It doesn't look like I had much interaction today, but I wanted to bullshit for a while, and we ended up with an hour 21 video. Talk to you later. Bye now. In stream.